Okay, we're live. How is everyone today? Sorry, guys, YouTube was having a bit of a glitch. Let me know in the chat how your week has been. Obviously, first week of the month, last month of the year. It's all a bit crazy, guys, but yeah, I mean, price action this week has not been good. I've I've ended the week on a break-even week, but that's okay because social media will make you believe that break-even is not good and we need to be winning all the time, which hopefully by now you should know, guys, that that is just not possible. So break-even week is good. I haven't taken any trades today because I chose not to. Okay, let's have a look at some of these comments. Okay, cool. Everyone can see and hear me. Hello, hello. You've been waiting for me for 2 hours. That's crazy. I thought it was 2.5 hours. Oh wow, okay. uh Rudio, you know what? I'm actually meant to wear glasses all the time. I'm pretty much blind. They just get a bit annoying for me. But yeah, let's have a little bit of an analysis, and then we'll do the giveaway at the end. I appreciate all of you being here. You know, wanting to better yourself and showing your support. Best answer wins the next challenge. Oh, okay. Wow, yeah, you guys are crazy. So, um, okay, so I think we're going to be doing some giveaways in the comments as well. So make sure you are taking part. But yeah, price action this week, guys. Bit of a write-off. I have actually been I was waiting for this specific buy position on NQ, which looks like it's already pushed right up. So yeah, like I said, for me, I chose not to trade today, but I did have a quick look at everything um this afternoon. So we're going to start with NQ. We're going to work our way down. We'll look at NQ. We'll do Euro USD, GBP USD, gold, and then if we got any time, we'll have a look at some other things. Okay, so let's have a little look at NQ. We are climbing back up, but if we have a look on the daily, we have crossed over this the downward trend line that we were really pulling back. So I do see this market as very bullish. So I would definitely be more inclined to take buys. And to be honest, this is a great lesson for me because I usually take positions either way. Um, but I have now decided to only really take positions going in the direction of the trend. Of course, unless there's the breakout, but we're still following the higher time frame trend. Let's have a little look. So on the weekly, yeah, so we hit this weekly low here. And it's interesting because we pretty much rejected straight off here. So it's an interesting spot because it's been a support, it's been a resistance. These are key zones. And I think it's really important to pay attention to these on the higher time frame. So I'm talking the weekly, the daily. Like I said, higher time frame to me is very much bullish. So today was all about, where I could potentially take that buy position. But like I said, this is the first week of December. December isn't usually very good for price action anyway. It's all over the place. Everyone's calming down, getting ready for Christmas. Okay, so let's draw up our 4-hour trend line. So we had it like this, and then we can come out here. So this would be the trend line now. So you can see we pretty much rejected straight off that trend line. Have a look at the 1 hour. So we can see here the 1 hour was in this consolidation zone, and then we did break up to the outside. So again, you know, very, very bullish. It's just about where we enter. So let's have a little look using the fib retracement. Oh, got that the wrong way around. I'll check some comments in a minute, guys. Right, why am I seeing this so wrong? There we go. Why did I think I had it the wrong way around? Okay, so look, we've literally tapped into the sweet zone, the 0.618, and then completely rejected off. So that's, you know, a really, really good area to have. And to be fair, I did have this alert set up and I saw it, but I was too busy. So let's have a look and see what happened on the lower time frame. So if we have a look on the 15-minute, we can see this candlestick pattern happening here where we've, you know, this was a very big push down. And we've got a lot of areas over here. You know, the last time we were in this area on the 15-minute, you could class this as a bit of a 15-minute key zone. Oh, wrong thing there. So again, you know, I'm looking for my buys. I'm waiting to see what happens when we come into these areas. So we waited for the 0.618 to be tapped into. It got tapped into. We then dropped down to the 15-minute. If you look here on, you know, it was coming down, and then we've literally closed back in and now started pushing out. So you know, after this doji candle and that rejection close, this would be a great area to then buy from. Okay, so let's have a little look. Okay, I'm gonna read some of these comments. Here to win. Oh, thank you guys. You guys are so sweet. She spins. The strategy part is my favorite. What do you say about fixing variable RR? I struggle a bit sometimes, 1 to 2. You know what? I like my 1 to 2s. Again, don't let social media make you feel like you have to be doing like 1 to 3s, 1 to 5s all the time. There's nothing wrong with a good 1 to 2. So yeah. Let me share with my friends too. I invite people in this. Okay, 23 out of 50. Okay, we've really got this popping today. But yeah, so essentially we would have missed this buy. Like I said, the position would have been when this candle closed, because for me it would have been enough. You know, we could have had a look on the 1 minute, started seeing all of this new breaker structure, you know. Yeah, but I would have been happy because we tapped into such a sweet zone. And everything for me is bullish. We're going with the trend, and this is what gives me so much more confidence, going with the trend. Okay, and then maybe, you know, this is a bullish market, so really the target for this would have been a really nice trade, potentially back up here. But yeah, could take a while to get there. You know, you're taking partials because that is a very decent trade. It's always the way, isn't it? Like the trades that you don't take, it's always like that would have been if it hits, if it continues this upward trend, this will, and you know, if it at least gets to the high here, maybe kind of at the bottom of this high, that's still a 1 to 9. So okay, Yes, guys, keep sharing the live. We need more people on here. Okay. I'm gonna try and sift through to see if any of you guys have any questions. What was the one problem you'll face after learning a problem? Okay, so the one problem that you face after learning a profitable strategy is learning all about your psychology. Trading will make you look at yourself, and what I've learned from working with many beginners and many traders is that most people would rather lose money than face themselves, and that is the honest truth. So I personally think the hardest part of trading has been getting to know myself, getting honest and real with myself. Because you start trading and you basically lie to yourself. Like I came here and I was like, I don't have an ego. Turns out I actually had a very big ego, guys. And you got to be able to say that because the way to recovery is first admitting that you have the problem, but then also not staying in the problem world, so you always got to be thinking about the person that you want to create. I got a really good one for you guys. When you are making decisions, always ask yourself, is like, I'm sure you've all got a future version of yourself that you see, you vision, you know where you want to be. When you're making decisions, when you're trading, always ask yourself, is would the future version of me do this? Or what would the future version of me do? And if you can start to learn to really ask yourself that question, a lot of the times, you'll turn around and you'll be like, no, future version of me where I'm making millions, or I've got a big business, or I'm a full-time trader. That person wouldn't be doing this. Then that something's not quite right. But yeah, let's have a little go at um, let's have a little go with gold. Gold on the lower time frames as well this week. It's been one of them weeks where it will like tap me out and then just shoot my direction. So we love gold, but gold is challenging for sure. So looking at it, it's very much looking bullish again to me on the higher time frames. If we look at the weekly, we had this pullback, but clearly even on the weekly, when after this week close, that pullback definitely to me looks like it's done. But we are coming up to this weekly high now, so maybe if we can wait another week to see if we're pushing past this. But again, we are coming into December, so we might not see the break just yet. This may be our new range for gold. This range, but obviously this is on a weekly time frame, so it's going to be a big range. And we can see on the lower time frames, then I'm going to move this down slightly. And I remember literally from, I would say, April all the way to August, this is what gold looked like. It was such a big range, but it was just ranging. So it was big enough for us to still trade, but I don't know if we're going to be, rocketing to all-time highs and on that bull run just yet. But I'm not a predictor, so I'm not going to say if I don't know. I do think gold's going to go up, but I don't know if it's going to be in December and January. Yeah, we got a good few people here, guys. Thank you so much. Okay, let's DM Andrew in Discord. You want to? Oh, do we give us? Okay, so yeah, we're doing gold now. After gold, what pair made you the most money? I would say it's equal really between NQ and Euro USD, GBP USD. How did you become break-even stage? So I guess the break-even stage is just before the profitable stage. But also what you will find, guys, is that it's always a very turbulent ride. You can be break even, you can then go profitable, then you can go back to being break even, and then you can go back to not being profitable. Just remember, like, that is the journey. If you look at big hedge funds and stuff, that some months that they're in a negative. 2 months in a row they're in a negative, and then all of a sudden, that consistency pays off, because then they get themselves back into profit. So yeah, just know that losing is part of the process. It's not get rich quick, it's get rich slow. But yeah, so on the daily, again, if we can break above these these highs here today, because we've still got quite a bit of time left, but we are literally coming into this area here. I'm gonna move this up. So yeah, if we can get a daily close, above, then next week is looking very bullish. But you're still, understand market structure. You're going to be in the extension. You can expect a pullback, and then if you're that kind of trader where you're looking for those longer positions to take your buys, then yeah. And just mark out these levels as well on the higher time frames, guys, because if you have a look here, so when we actually had that market shift to the upside, we had that breaker structure here, and then we came back down, retested it. So if you would have been watching this, do you not think this would have been a great area to then buy from? And because you can see that we're getting a lot of rejection every time we come here. So for those who take longer trades, and then your position would have been on here, maybe the other side of here, reaching up to these highs. This is kind of more of like your swing positions. But yeah, don't sleep on the simplicity. Again, this is a high that we broke above, and now we're literally using it as an area of support. Okay, so 1 hour. I haven't actually even looked at gold today, because like I said, look at the choppiness of it here, all of this week, really. This is the kind of stuff here that you don't want to be caught in. But yeah, now we look like we are kind of in this upward trend, but we need to see if we're going to break above. We got a closure just about, but yeah, I think next week is probably going to be a bit better, but then don't expect too much the last 2 weeks of December. I think it's quite a well-known fact that December is a very hard month to trade, especially for beginners. Oh, you guys are bringing your community over to see, to so that you guys can win. Yeah, I would say we're definitely bullish, but yeah, we've got some few key areas to really push through. I'm very careful trading gold. Yes, definitely be very, very careful trading gold. To go by take one more pullback. Yeah, exactly. So just be wary of gold. But yeah, for me, we're definitely looking very bullish. On the 1 hour though, we're back at this area here. So we may definitely need a bit more of a pullback. We've got a lot of areas that haven't been tapped into now. This area hasn't been tapped into, this area hasn't been tapped into, so we could see that kind of big pullback before then continuing up. But yes, so I'm going to just move my trend lines and stuff now, because you can see we broke past. So we can move this like this. So once we get that break above, then we've got another good indication that we're going to aim higher. But yeah, I feel like, just looking at it, we're going to need a bit of a pullback first. I don't really want to make a steep trend line, to be honest. But yeah, I think we're going to struggle without pulling back a little bit more. So just be careful with gold, guys. You can see already that we are rejecting from this zone. And this is why I've started to actually mark up my key zones, because I do find it very, very valuable to be wary when we get into these areas. You know, we can use them as areas to trade from, we can use them for areas to trade to, just areas of interest, really. But yeah, nothing for me at the moment on gold, because we're going to need to trade that pullback. So let's have a little look. I know someone said Euro USD. That is something that I do like to trade. So let's have a little look and see what Euro USD is doing, because we got this push to the upside on Euro USD. Suddenly, pretty much we've been moving down since September, and now we've finally broken this trend line. So, that overall. But let's have a look at the weekly. It's interesting because we can see when we're looking at the weekly zoomed out a little bit, this is very much an uptrend on Euro USD. We just started to pull back for a little bit. Actually, I'm not going to do that. Just going to start this one lower down. Yeah, so this is on the weekly time frame. Then we've got an even bigger picture if we start zooming out. And this is why, guys, it's so important if you're that type of trader where you want to be looking at that overall picture. When we zoom right out here, the euro has actually been on a really big downtrend for a while. So let's just get this looking a little bit more accurate. Okay, so even though we have been this trend line has been respected for a long time. Oh wow. Since 2008, the euro has been depreciating in value. So it's gonna maybe take a lot for this trend line to be broken, guys. And you can see we really playing here. We have been playing here for a while, like I said, since June. So yeah, we're at an interesting point. We're definitely at a really interesting point. Guys, are you liking how we've been doing the giveaway today? I think some. Do we still have one more to give away? Oh, first at the last 10K challenge. Okay, sorry guys, I'm a little bit behind on the comments. Oh my god, you guys, you really run it up today. Well done. But yeah, okay. So yeah, we're at a very, very interesting point here on Euro USD, because we have been playing at this trend line since June, and it's, the range itself isn't really that big. So let's have a little look here. Range. So now we want it either to break above or break below if you're going to be looking if you're going to be looking at the higher time frames for that bigger direction. Like I said, for a while, you know, that overall trend is a bearish trend, but we're going to be getting these big pullbacks, you know. So we have been moving in this upward trend, and now we need to break this trend line and probably this area of resistance for me to see the euro as a real reversal of it starting to actually go back up. Because what I can see happening here is probably us rejecting. So maybe coming up to here and then breaking back down, something like this. But yeah, so if we have a look at the daily, we've been moving down, and then now we've broken this trend line here. So we've been extending for a while in, yeah, so I can kind of see this happening. This is, I really have started enjoying looking at the higher time frames, or even something like this. Amazing. Congratulations, by the way, for everybody who won. Really appreciate all of you guys being here. I hope you guys are, you know, all of my winners, you guys are making the most of these challenges and getting your payouts. Let me know. I've obviously got some winners that are that are on the chat. Let me know how you're getting on. Let me know how you're getting on, guys, because we've given away a lot of accounts, but no one's messaged me to tell me that they've had payouts yet. Okay, so yeah, this is a very, very important area, I think, for Euro USD, because we could continue up for a little bit more because we have broken this structure here on the daily. On the 1 hour, we were moving up. Now it does look like, you know, we've literally broken structure up here, that we've had that market shift here where we broke the lows, made a lower high. Okay, I'm liking this. I'm liking this for a sell, because got a lot of areas again just not tapped into. Let's have a little markup here. Yeah, this whole area, nothing's tapped into it yet, so definitely could come to like fill this area. One hour is looking bearish. $15-minute, a lot of consolidation. So, you know, if you're going to take this, we're going to need to see bearish structure. So we need the low here to be broken to tell us that we're coming down, and then we've got an area to actually play it to as well. No doubt. Just reading some of your comments. Check us out, US 100. This is not something that I really trade that much, but I'll have a little look. So US, I'm guessing it's US 30, right? Let's have a look at US 30. My account I got from you, Doey, unfortunately I breached it on gold. Oh no. I did show you Oh yes, of course. No, I remember one person messaging me, but not very many people have updated me on how you're getting on. What were you as a beginner trader, what you will focus on? Will you focus on a big R or win rate? Don't focus on all of this stuff, guys. Literally focus on, if you're a beginner, focus on perfecting your system. Don't worry about really big risk to rewards and stuff like that. Like my sweet spot is a 1 to 2. 1 to 2s are definitely really good for beginners, and just focus on perfecting the system. Don't always focus on winning, because when you focus on winning, this is where you are just going to really, really struggle, because you're not focused on the strategy and the system, just focused on winning, which is just a load of emotion basically. 50k accounts coming soon. Wow. Yeah, you guys really ran it up today. Thank you so much. Who was it that brought their whole community over? uh that was insane. Okay, so let's have a look at US 30. I'm not, to be fair, whenever I've looked at it, I'm like, you know what? This is pretty clean. I might actually start looking at US 30, because I feel like it's a better option than silver. Silver is something that I do like to trade, but I feel like the just on anything, silver's like spreads are not great, but US 30 definitely, it's a trending market. I'm gonna have a top down analysis, guys, and then let's see what this is doing. Okay, we're actually in basically all time highs. Oh wow, look at that! What the? What happened there? Oh, when was that? 2004. Oh wow. Yeah, you wouldn't have wanted to be in that. Jesus Christ. That that was obviously broke history, right? That nearly went down to the floor. Wow. Yeah, no, that is not something I want to take part in if it's capable of doing stuff like that. But that's the only time. So I'll research what happened in May 2004 for this to drop like this. Um, we've already done NAS 100. Sorry, guys. I overtraded on gold because my first trade was a loss and I want to recoup the profits. Okay, pips made simple. My advice for you, if you recognize that your psychology at this moment in time isn't strong enough to handle a loss first, I want to tell you something. Most of the time when I take trades, obviously not all of the time, but a lot of the time, I will take a loss first, and then the next one will be a win, because I don't let that loss affect me, and I don't go in with the mindset of I'm trying to make that money back. You should see your losses exactly the same way as you see your wins. And this is when you start to realize that you're progressing as a trader. So if you are struggling with being able to mentally handle taking a loss first, please make it part of your system to just call it a day. Go and do back testing. Use the gym trader's gym, sorry. Go and do your back testing. Stay out of the market. Stay out of the market until you can learn to manage those emotions. US 30 is so dangerous, more than God. Yeah, I mean, I've never ever traded it, but just looking at that just scared the hell out of me. Obviously we had like that really big drop down there. I guess clearly something happened in news. So I'm just gonna try to draw a trend line from that lowest point, which was here, that I can see is back in 2008. So we've been on a upwards trend. We've only actually, I mean, originally this trend line would have been like this. Then we just move it out. Let's have a top-down analysis on this. Yeah, that is crazy. Imagine. Yeah, I can't even imagine. I can't even imagine what I would do if I saw price drop like that. And I guess that, yeah, crazy. One day it will happen in one single day. Okay, so we've got this trend line here. That's probably the last trend line that we can do. And yeah, right now just looks like we're pushing back up, guys. Very bullish. Let's have a look on the 4 hour. Yeah, we can see here 4 hour time frame. Let's just 4 hour trend lines. This is the last, the lowest time frame that I will use trend lines. So, we're literally pushing all the way up here. We're nearly at a horizontal line. News coming in 20 minutes. Yes, so I'm not actually planning on trading today. I made that decision, and I think, guys, it's so important to your subconscious mind not to focus on, no, what was I going to say? Yeah, so when you tell yourself I'm not going to trade, and then you see the perfect setup and then you trade, what you're teaching yourself is that you can't be trusted. You say things that you don't follow through with. And this morning I said to myself, I'm not going to trade. So even if the most perfect setup comes, I'm not going to trade, because um that's part of me being disciplined, and I'm trying to train my subconscious mind. I'm trying to work on my psychology more than I am my strategy. So one of the things for me is that I really struggle to trust myself. So I get asked all the time, how can you build trust with yourself? Stick to the things that you actually say. We're here, even if there is anyone. Oh, I really do appreciate my real ones, guys, because um yeah, you guys are the greatest supporters. And I see you and appreciate you. But yeah, who was it that just brought all of those people in? Like, whose whose community was that? Oh, it was. Oh no, Rudo was that responding to something else. I think Capital's community. Insane, guys. Okay, so let's I'm gonna have a look at US 30 next week. 4 hour, we're gonna get a break above on the 4 hour. We're looking again, it's very clean, marking up these areas. We broke structure here. We shifted, broke structure up here. Just literally tapped in there, nearly tapped in. So what I would be doing, this happened on the 4th, is, looking, when was this? On the 4th? Yeah, so yeah, it's just a bit messy at the moment. It's messy on the lower time frames. This is the thing. Every time I look on the higher time frames, everything's just so clean. I think I'm slowly moving over to higher time frames, because yeah, these lower time frames, whenever you drop down, it looks messy. I feel like it's here to just make you go crazy. Thank you so much, the Revolution N. But if you want to see community, then come to mine. Mother 8th. Oh right, so Pratham. Oh my gosh, it's a very long name, and I don't want to pronounce it wrong. But yeah, definitely lower time frames are just busy. So I can tell you that the overall, I would definitely be looking more for buys, but still being quite cautious that we're coming up to this area here. But overall, when you're looking at the higher time frames, um yeah, I'm not a massive fan of what this looked like on the lower time frame. I'm not gonna lie, but on the higher time frame, yeah. And NAS 100 in action too. Yeah, so we looked at NAS 100 first. But yeah, I'm definitely gonna keep my eyes peeled for this, and I'm gonna really start paying attention to these higher time frame key zones because, you know, if we could get to the point of not needing these lower time frames, that would be brilliant because especially or just in times when price action is just really messy, like it will be in December. You know, I was like, price action great on the higher time frames, but as soon as you start going down on the lower time frames, which I, you know, usually trade off, you know, is wicking you out all over the place. um Okay, Doey, how do you handle a losing streak? Okay, this is a good one, guys. I'm not in any trade, by the way, everyone. I made the decision today. I'm not going to be trading, so I can't go back on my words. How do I handle a losing streak? So, the way that I handle a losing streak is by understanding that losing streaks are normal. You have to understand that you can't have wins without losses. You know, this is normal. You have to redefine what these losses are to you. If you keep losing because you are over trading, breaking all of your rules, you know, revenge trading, being impulsive. Okay, that's when you need to start getting a bit annoyed because you're not just on a losing streak because your trades are not going to plan. Um, um, not the yeah, not the plan. And if it's down to your psychology, this is what you need to work on. You know, redefine what a loss is and understand that that is part of the process. Um, we're gonna we're gonna do a 50K giveaway in a minute, and I'm gonna announce that winner. So make sure you're staying here to the very end, guys. I'm gonna do it in literally 5 minutes. You took any trade in FOMO? Yeah, so I've been there. I've literally being that trader that was impulsive, that had no discipline, no confidence, FOMO, all of it. So, um, yeah, I have traded Bitcoin, but again, it's not really for me. Another tip, guys, you don't need to trade everything. Trade like 5 things at the max, and then just get really, really focused on, you know, uh the the things that you trade. You don't need to trade everything. But yeah, so when it comes to losing streaks, this is normal. Like statistically, every 30 trades, um most people go on a losing streak. So that means, you know, multiple trades losing one after the other. So this is why you have to have really good risk management. If you don't have a system in place, I want to see the comments actually. um I want to see the comments right now. How many of you actually have a solid trading plan, like written down? Like, I'm talking not just your strategy, I'm talking about, do you have a trade plan to manage your emotions when something happens? Do you have you know, a strategy in place to calm yourself down, to ground yourself? Like, you know, how many of you actually have this? And be honest as well. I think it's a potential rise. Yeah, 100%. And yes, it does take years to build a strong psychology. I have been trying to work on my psychology for years, for like 10 years, even before trading. Um, a liquidity hunt, it's not real, guys. So my mentor, he is like 70. He's owned his own hedge fund. The max he's ever managed is 5 billion. and I was telling him about liquidity concept, and he promised me, he was like, I promise you, institutional traders are not sitting there thinking about where your stop losses are. A lot of them are fundamental traders. They use like very basic like technical analysis to enter, but that's not the reasons really why they're entering. It's to do with the fundamental stuff, and they've got a really big team around them. But he was like, I was explaining to him like, oh, we got a load of stop losses here, and we're gonna sweep them out. And he was like, I promise you, no one's like no one's thinking like that. So they do not care about you guys. Sorry to say it. I know some people love the liquid. I like the liquidity concept. My mentor is 70, not 17, 70. But yeah, he was like, it makes sense, but that's not what we're doing. So yeah, I just think, just don't overcomplicate things. Also, you're into which, yeah, I promise you, they're not really thinking about us, and they're not thinking about everyone's stop losses. I have a trading plan, but I struggle to implement it on the days I take only a single trade. I win. You win 80 to 90% of the time? That's insane, Mac. Is that the honest truth? I always want to be very, very transparent with you guys, and I always want you guys to be very transparent with me. 80 to 90% win rate. You should be raking it in. And again, this is something that he said to my mentor said to me. He was like, I would be over the moon with being right 50% of the time in 1 month. So yeah, I was like, wow, if social media really lies to you and makes you believe that 80 to 90% is normal, it's not normal. So this is why people end up lying. This is why people end up thinking that they're not good enough. This is why, a lot of people end up spiraling because they think that they're not good enough and they've got something to prove, when I literally am talking to a guy who is telling me he's managed 5 billion pounds, and even he was like, it would be insane to get 50% right. It would be insane to get 5% a month. So yeah, this, I hope that take this in, because the next time that you're on a losing streak, understand that you don't take it personally. Have a system in place for your losing streak. Okay, so don't just have a trading plan for your trades. Have a plan in place for when you go on a losing streak. What is it that you're going to do? Yesterday, I mean, it's not the end of the world. I had 3 losing trades in a row. And for me, the way that I handle this is, the next day, I'm just not going to trade. I'm going to give myself some time to recover and get my headspace back in the right way. Like, I love to meditate. I love to spend time with my family, like, get yourself in a better headspace. So how do you manage not me. As much as I'd love to tell you guys that um uh I don't I don't I don't manage 5 billion. That's my mentor, that I was introduced through my family member. So he's not even on social media. He's not here to, make money through courses. Um, I wonder what the 70-year-old right, you want to know his strategy? It's a lot. It's a lot, guys. There's a lot to an institutional trade. Um there's multiple departments. You've got like 3 departments to execute this one trade, and then you've got so much financial data, given. There's not too much technicals is maybe purely to get into the trade, but that direction and whatever. He was keeping it very simple, very, very simple. We'll talk about that on another stream. Do I have an A+ setup plan which gives me at least 1 to 2 trades per day? Problem is taking multiple average trades trader per day, which keeps me not succeed. Give me advice. So are you saying that you end up taking more trades, but if you only took your 1 to 2 trades, it would be good? Um, if that is the case, then it sounds like you've got a bit of a case of over trading, and over trading comes from a scarcity mindset. You know, that means there's a lack of. So I want this concept as well for you guys to take in today. Um, if you already had all the money, you know, if you were already a full-time trader, um, making shitloads of money, would you be desperate? Would you do that extra trade when you don't need to? Because remember, every time you enter the market, you're exposing yourself to risk. So, you know, ask yourself that question. Constantly be thinking about the future version. Be in that creation headspace. This is so important. I know it sometimes sounds so irrelevant, but there's got to be a reason why so many people struggle. Okay, guys. So final winner. So we have a winner for the 50K account. Our first 50K account giveaway on the live stream. Thank you so much, and I'm sorry that I can't give all of you guys ones. Only one person can win, unfortunately. Can you tell like what your mental suggestion you? We'll talk about that next time, guys. But okay, today's winner for our 50K account goes to Rudio, and I really hope I am saying the name right. Rude Dio. Congratulations. Thank you so much, and you've been one of our day ones supporting. We want to see you win, guys. Thank you so much. Oh, thank you. There is no free name. Yeah, congratulations. We really appreciate your support. And I'm sure, you know, we'll be able to give more away in the future. Congratulations. Some of you guys have really been waiting on a long time. But yeah, congratulations. We will be back again next week, and we'll be announcing more winners. But I hope you guys have the most amazing weekend, the most amazing week, and then we will catch up next week. See you all later. Bye.